It all seemed like such a good idea at the time. There were early auguries that the loudly insisted liberatory potential of the internet may follow a meandering path. It's worth noting that Stephen Levy's 1995 column appeared amid a thorny political debate about how to safeguard children from an internet that was already heaving with porn. Perhaps the first portent occurred as early as the 29th of October 1969, the day the very first computer networked message was sent. A research team at UCLA was attempting to transmit the word login to a team awaiting it 500 kilometres away at Stanford University. UCLA managed only to send a holy sounding low before the computer crashed. The Canadian media theorist Marshall McLuhan had predicted the internet years before the Californian computer lab shenanigans. His 1964 book, Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man, is perhaps most famous for his oft-quoted observation, "The medium is the message." But in the same book, McLuhan also reasoned that technology would inevitably create media that was globally networked and participatory. In our thoroughly internet-addled present, those less inclined to believe divine signs than to read screamingly obvious metaphors may indeed stare back at the internet's inauspicious UCLA debut, consider McLuhan's observations, and conclude the medium appears unstable and the message is a problem. We are now 5 decades into humanity's use of the internet. I am of the last Western generation that retains any memory of what life without its daily use was like. It's almost 3 decades since I opened my first email account, chose my first online alias, and joined my first IRC, which is an internet relay chat. In that time, the internet has certainly delivered its promised new frontiers. Unfortunately, a lot of them are just fresh digital territories to experience ancient analogue problems. Trolling, dogpiling, doxing, swatting, swarming, cyberstalking. We've created new words to describe the evolving manifestations of old human viciousness that the internet's lawlessness has facilitated. As a feminist journalist who maintains an active presence on social media, I'm of an internet demographic that has had the historically unprecedented experience of a mass harassment that is not merely public and international, but searchable and shareable. Instead of granting citizens of all nations the experience of speaking without fear, the internet has digitised new sources of individual and collective terror. Its much vaunted capacity to platform content whenever and wherever has provided raw freedom to bully and harass, slander and defame, threaten, berate, humiliate, stalk, violate, and abuse. It's also meant the proliferation of disinformation and conspiracy theories on a global scale, relentless propaganda campaigns, the promotion of hateful ideologies, the celebration of violence, and even active recruitment to terrorist and extremist causes with lethal results. Tech writer Nick Carr reminded readers of The Guardian over a decade ago that the prophetic McLuhan warned us about the dangers of the internet before it even existed. McLuhan understood that as media became more interactive, they also became more potent tools for manipulation and control, Carr explained. In Understanding Media, McLuhan described the vulnerability of our senses and nervous systems to the private manipulation of those who would try to benefit by taking a lease on our eyes and ears and nerves. This image of sensory possession has echoed against my skull through the conception, research, and writing of this book. Those who surrendered to interactive media, feared McLuhan, would find themselves with no rights left. My interest in the internet's extremist underworld resulted from my experience of its attacks. Within only a few months of